Here we are. The end is finally here. And no, I'm not going to be singing Frank Sinatra, like Frank Sinatra's version of My Way again. But MatPat's final theory video. I mean, they've already done the rounds. They did his final style theory, his final food theory, his final film theory, and now we are on the channel that started it all with MatPat, the final game theory. Now, in the last game theory that he did, he talked about like the impact of Five Nights at Freddy's, like what it had on like the gaming industry overall, like the amount of money that people have made and the amount of projects and the amount of like things that have been launched because of Five Nights at Freddy's. And a lot of people thought, oh, Five Nights at Freddy's should be your last theory video. It's like, no, I got something else planned. And I don't have any idea what he has planned for this, but
it's got to be something big.
Oh, it has to be, man. I mean, the video's 25 minutes long, and MatPat is just such a perfectionist with this stuff that I don't think he'll sell anything short. I gotta be honest, there's part of me that's gonna miss seeing, because I know we don't react to game theories as much as we used to. We've reacted to some film theories, some food theories, stuff like that. And I know that, but here's the thing, I have always been a fan of MatPat's work ethic, of like game theory, film theory, food theory, and I haven't watched very many style theory videos, but I respect the hell out of his just like direction, his drive, and his just ability to keep himself fresh with ideas and everything, and I love that. And it just shows me that, you know, where I'm at as a YouTuber and everything, I would say that, you know, how MatPat is doing it is like about 50 levels above where I am. Just because of how intricate he is with everything. Whereas me, I just sit here and I have fun, you know, just shooting the shit with my friends. That's all I've ever wanted out of YouTube. But if I ever had the desire to do more with YouTube, like Matt has done, I mean, you've seen us try and do other things. You know, we've done film, we've done gaming and stuff like that, and the gaming stuff has been really, really fun. But yeah, this is, things are going to be different moving forward on game theory, film theory, and like all the theory channels. And we figure we might as well send off Matt with, you know, with the reaction to his final game theory. I guess we'll see how things are going to be at the end of this, but anyway, let's get into it. This is MatPat's final theory on game theory. Here we go. Yep, the intros as they've gotten updated over time.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where that is the last time that I'll be saying those words officially on this channel. Loyal theorists, how do you say goodbye? 13 years ago, I made you this promise.
Do you want to know more about the games you love without having to put in any work of your own? Well, now you can play and learn. That's right, Weboverse. We have created Game Theory, gaming's tangential learning experience.
Well, Weboverse, here we are today, 3,000 videos of tangential learning later. how do you sum all that up? I already got super weepy in the last one of these things, so probably shouldn't do that again. It'd be redundant and probably not great for the tech equipment. We've also spent the last 10 weeks together knowing that this day was gonna come, right? So I really feel like I've gotten my farewell tour. I've buried hatchets, I've rekindled friendships, I made sweeping videos about the state of online entertainment, fired some tanks. That was legitimately very cool. I honored my heritage. I made Disney mad one final time, which, you know, felt appropriate. Got some new dripping, and just in general, ran my way through all the things that were left in my content creator bucket list. So again, I ask, how do you say goodbye? First, it's probably most important to remind you that it's not officially goodbye, right? It's not like I'm dying or anything. It's more of a see you later. I'm still gonna be doing plenty of stuff. Like, I'm already booked to do the fashion show on Style Theory later this year. I'm still gonna be here on the couch for GT Live. In a couple weeks, I'm gonna be giving a speech over at PAX. I was recently in a kill count. Heck, I'm already slated to do.
Yeah, I saw him announce that. I was just like, really? Oh. Now we gotta watch Five Nights at Freddy's. So it's the Five Nights at Freddy's review that Dead Meat did. We have to watch Five Nights at Freddy's now.
You doing something with Jack and Ethan?
Oh yeah, on their Brain Leak podcast.
Podcast, the Ludwig podcast. There's a collaboration I'm doing with Shea Frillis Productions. There's the FNAF musical over on Random Encounters. Like, I will be doing a lot, and you will probably be sick of me doing all these things on everyone else's channels. But if you do want to stay in touch with me, there are actually two ways that you could do it. Normally, I'd say something like, oh, you can follow me on Twitter, but we all know that there's like a grand total of 0 people who want to be over on that platform. So instead, I decided to make you this. A mysterious website named where'smatpat.com. This is going to be a place that I update every once in a while when I have news about some new project that's coming up, or, you know, a mystery that you're going to have to solve by digging through the source code. Yes, it's a ripoff of scottgames.com. No, I don't feel bad about that because he stole enough of my ideas over the years. Editor should drop on some deal with its sunglasses in this moment. Yeah. That's a good one. Make sure you sign up via email. Don't worry, I'm not going to be spamming you with updates or anything. It'll be more like a MatPat newsletter, or maybe a Christmas card that you get every once in a while with a funny update, or maybe we could chat about a favorite movie or something. I'll send over the occasional video that I'm just inspired to make. Who knows? Basically, this is just meant to be a way to let you all know what I'm up to directly in a way that isn't going to be subject to filtering algorithms, you know? And to kick things off this week, I'll be selecting 100 random emails that sign up to get personalized letters. And from that point forward, once or twice a week, I'll continue pulling a handful of emails to send personal notes to. It'll be a fun way to stay in touch. Long story short, make sure you bookmark it since you never know what might happen over there. But, all right, enough stalling. Back to the question at hand. How do you say goodbye? Well, I think you honestly have to end it all where it began. This title, A Game Theory about game theory. Did you know that game theory isn't just a nerdy YouTube show? It's also a nerdy economics concept.
Yeah, I knew that.
I honestly can't blame you. At this point, we've created enough confusion online that apparently we've merited our own disambiguation tag on Wikipedia for game theory searches. In all seriousness, for the first 5 years of the show, I received so many tweets from people who are mid-year in their economics courses, screenshotting their textbooks, freaking out when they got to the episode on game. It's not an episode, it's a chapter. When they got to the chapter on game theory, being like, oh my gosh, dude, did you know that you were in this thing? And yeah, we definitely did. The pun, believe it or not, was intentional. In fact, Steph and I knew from the very beginning that it was likely that the final episode of Game Theory was going to be about game theory. Why? Well, because game theory, it's everywhere. You can't.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the movie Love Actually, there's actually this opening monologue in it that goes a little something like this.
We live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. Seems to me that love is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that love actually is all around.
Now you just got to replace the word love with game theory, and you basically got it.
That we live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. Seems to me that
game theory
is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that
game theory
actually is all around.
Huh,
exactly.
Who would have suspected that English acting megastar and recent Oompa Loompa Hugh Grant would be making a guest appearance in my final episode? Truly, we have spared no expense for this one. And not only is game theory just everywhere, it also holds the secret to winning everything forever. Yeah, I know, right? That is a huge claim to make. Clearly, I was saving all my biggest secrets for the grand finale. So, you know what? Let's not beat around the bush anymore, my friends. Let's make you masters of the universe and reveal how, whether you like it or not, you all are theorists for life. Come on. This way.
I mean, he's
we're
kind
moving
of
on.
not wrong, because that's half of what we do when we react to stuff.
Yeah.
We theorize what's going to happen in any given video we're going to watch. We theorize, like, what's going to happen in the next, like, episode of any show we watch and stuff like that all the time.
And it's basically what we, like...
And then every once in a while we actually theorize, like, kind of like he does. It's like, oh, like, this is all happening because of this grand thing that they're eventually going to reveal. Like the kind of predictive theorization, you know?
And sometimes we've been right. Yeah. Sometimes we've hit the nail right on the head. And those moments are really something. I love those.
Ouch this time. That's how you know it's a big deal. Let's go. At its core, game theory is the science of strategy. So we gamers, we understand strategy, but what exactly is game theory specifically? Well, to understand that, you have to go back to the original game theorist, not me, this guy right here. He might not have himself the red leather jackets or the cool diamond play buttons, but I'll tell you what he does have, a crater on the moon named after himself, so I'll let you decide who has the bigger flex there. This guy right here, he is mathematician John von Neumann, and he was everywhere back in the day. And I do mean everywhere. Like, this guy was a key player in the invention of the digital computer. He helped with the discovery of the structure of DNA, even the creation of key components for Oppenheimer's Manhattan Project. You know, the Christopher Nolan movie where big things go big booms. But perhaps his biggest claim to fame was game theory. The idea that in any situation where there are two or more people, or players in this case, you can model out a game that'll help you find the best outcome. Have you ever played rock, paper, scissors and thrown out rock as the first hand because you know statistically most people choose their first move to be scissors? Or maybe you picked paper because the last 3 moves have been rock and they're obviously going to be throwing rock again. Well, congratulations, that is game theory in action. And he got a Medal of Freedom for that. So it just goes to show, don't let your dreams just be dreams, kids. Sometimes getting an honorary medal is a lot easier than you think. In short, game theory is the study of strategic choice. It's math that tells you what people are going to do and who's going to win the game. Probably the most famous example of a game theory scenario is the prisoner's dilemma, where 2 accomplices have just committed a crime and they're both given the chance to narc on the other one. If they both deny the crime, well, they both get a short prison sentence. If one of them denies the crime and the other rats him out, the narc walks free while his buddy is stuck in prison for a long time. And if they both confess, they both get a medium sentence. We can model the possible outcomes here in a nice, neat, mathy looking square. And while technically the best outcome for both of them would be to trust each other and not confess, they're criminals, and they don't know each other that well. And because they don't trust each other, by the math, both of them narc on each other, and as a result, get a minimal amount of prison time. Or if...
basically it, honestly, predictive outcomes, it's sort of like D&D. You try to predict how people are going to act with certain things on the map, and you put it right in front of them, and none of them go for it. And you're just like, well, shit. Basically, you, by projecting with game theory, hoping that they would take that, have now learned, like, oh, I guess I'm going to literally have to throw it at them and not just, like, allude to it. Basically, just like...
Depending. Depending on what it is.
True, yeah.
It's just forcing people to go certain ways, and D&D kind of is looked down upon, so... It's called railroading.
Yeah, which...
the players are literally supposed to have the option to sit in a bar with their thumb up the asses while the world burns around them. That's how it's supposed to work, basically.
I hear you. But I've just ran into some like horror stories of DMs saying that they did everything they could to try and get the story started. But it wasn't the fact that the players didn't want to sit there and do nothing. The player wanted to one-shot everything that came at them, and the players just basically wouldn't work with each other and were just like constantly bickering with one another, and nothing got done because he had to deal with like explaining to people like, no, that doesn't work this way. No, that doesn't work that. No, that doesn't, like, that can't happen because of this and this and that. And basically the game just gets bogged down and just a bunch of like finger pointing and just like, but I said this, this and that, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff online about toxic things that players do and toxic things that DMs do both.
Yeah.
Like how to avoid them.
And hypothetical, over in England, they turned the whole thing into a game show where they say the word balls an uncomfortable amount of times.
Welcome to Golden Balls. Golden Balls.
Balls,
of riches,
balls.
12 balls.
My balls are all golden.
100 golden balls, and they're all bursting with money. Killer balls. 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 Balls.
Now, why am I bringing all this
Balls.
up? Game theory is more than just wads of cash jammed into
Doesn't
a bunch
make
of
a
balls.
bit of difference,
Someone should
guys.
tell
The
this could be-
balls are inert.
Shit, of course you'd have to go with that old YouTube poop.
that I just discovered his next video idea. No, it has very real
Balls.
consequences for the world. Back when the US and USSR were on the brink of atomic annihilation, the principles of game theory helped both sides reach an agreement to slowly disarm their nuclear arsenals. If you want to know more about that story, Veritasium's recent video on game theory does a great job telling it. And honestly, I can't really improve on it. So thanks for doing all the research for my final episode there, Derek. If you want an example that's a bit closer to home though, here you go. YouTube. It's got it. See, YouTube as a platform is just a bunch of zeros and ones, right? But YouTube as a community, it's a network of people constantly trying to make strategic decisions. Creators are players who are more or less rational people making videos that'll get you to watch and like and comment and subscribe. You, the viewer, you're also a player in this. You're on a strategic mission to win the experience by finding the thing that's most satisfying to watch. And the people who run, or at least have run YouTube in the past, shout out to Todd, Jake, Neil, Ernest, Meg, Ariel, Susan, David, Fede, Vader, Stephanie, and Kim, they're all in a strategic game to keep the creators and viewers happy, while also figuring out the best possible outcome for YouTube as a company by appeasing all the advertisers and
Sometimes the
shareholders.
creators are just in a battle with rubes like me that will watch something they really enjoyed and then space out and be like, yeah, that was good, and forget to click any of the stuff.
Yeah, that's
you know.
sad
At
to
least I
say.
gave them the whole watch time, probably. But
That's something
sometimes I
at
just
least.
forget to click the buttons.
Seriously,
brain
a
is
complex
done.
strategic arena. And that's how you get decisions like use bright green text because it's more
Wait a minute. Did you see that?
as a company
Hold on,
by
wait.
appeasing all the advertisers and shareholders. It
Whenever
is
it's spinning-
seriously a complex
Minus by 24. The hell's that?
No clue.
Huh.
strategic arena. And that's how you get decisions like use bright green text because it's more likely to stand out in a sea of dark gaming thumbnails and more likely to get clicks.
You know, Matt a long time ago said he would never reveal the specific color to like attract people to his thumbnails. He said it's a trade secret, and I'm like, it's kind of obvious when you actually look at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious, and it's yeah.
Maybe that's why I was saying it. Is he was kind of joking. He's like, you should be able to go look and tell for yourself.
Yeah.
Launch shorts as a means to counterattack against TikTok. Do a video on something that's not trending so you can stand out from the pack. Or maybe you lean in so you're suggested against the algorithm. Every video you watch, everything that you click on, it's the product of creators using game theory. Slap a big old game theory colon in front of every title and slam some clickbait green text on every thumbnail. All those hundreds of millions of subscribers to Jimmy and Ryan Trahan and Cocomelon, I like to think that they're all secretly ours. Where's our 200 million subscriber play button there, YouTube? In the end, it's all game theory. Speaking of, and this is just an aside that I learned about earlier this week, apparently there's a Chrome extension that allows you to do exactly what I just described. It, quote unquote, MatPatifies your YouTube feed by putting green text on like every thumbnail. Just saying, we have reached
That's interesting.
the peak of human achievements. I, for one, really like this one. This link and saying mommy's hungry. That's just traumatic on a whole nother level. Or there was one that I saw circulating online, Ryan Gosling doing a puppy interview, and the title is Birth of a Killer. There was another one that showed up on the subreddit, Afton's Final Death Smash? I gotta say, I am proud of the mark that I will leave on this platform. But so what, right? YouTube is game theory. Sure, that's great. It's interesting, but why does it matter to you, right? Why am I spending so much time talking about all of this in my final episode? Well, because like I said, game theory can help in every strategic interaction that you have. And it's produced a literal strategy guide on the best way to live out your life. Tried and tested by all our grandfather theorists. But to truly understand that, we have to go back to where it all began, a glorified PowerPoint presentation. Weboverse, allow me to introduce you to, lights please, the trust game. I love this. We started as glorified PowerPoint slides, and we're ending as glorified PowerPoint slides.
Damn
Here's
it.
the TLDR of this one. The Trust game was originally just named the Computer Tournament by a guy named Robert Axelrod. Clearly not the most creative with his titling conventions. Basically, this was the Prisoner's Dilemma or the Golden Balls thing, except here, there was one crucial difference. They're not just playing the game once, they are literally playing it hundreds of times, repeating it over and over again to see what strategies end up winning the most across a longer period. This then gives us a model that's shockingly closer to real life, because here, most of the time, you're not just thinking about what you have to do to win a single game, you have to actually think about the consequences of your actions. The more people think about the future, the more they're willing to cooperate because they don't want to screw themselves over down the road, you know? Again, for details on that experiment, check out Derek Veritasium's video where he talks about all of that, including having an interview with the game's creator. It's a very cool video. I also borrowed his convention for that one, so thanks for the ladder and the idea there, Derek. You can also watch Dr. Trevor Bassett's video on the topic, or, you know, the various TED Talks that are all about this experiment. We'll link to all of those down in the description below. But just to jump to the big conclusion here, the best strategy to winning it big boils down to 4 key points. Number 1, be cooperative. Lead with trust. Assuming that the person you're playing with is your enemy right off the bat, it's not going to serve you well. Trust in others, it's going to let you win more frequently in the end. Secondly, don't be a pushover. Sure, it's good to be trusting, that is great, but the second that someone takes advantage of your trust, the winning strategy is to call them out on it and then immediately hold them accountable. Which leads nicely then to point number 3, being forgiving. Don't hold a grudge. Don't be a Mr. Darcy.
My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That is a failing indeed.
You tell him, girl, you are exactly right. She's speaking some game theory truth right there. Well, sure, it hurts to have your trust broken. Staying open to the chance that other people can change, that they can grow and learn and get better, that is the ideal solution here. The trust game showed that players who held their opponent accountable, but then forgave them, actually won out more often than any other strategy. And lastly, it's important to be honest and open.
That's how I've always been. Here's the thing. There are certain things that, like, there are certain things and certain, like, people in the past that things have happened and it didn't end well. I am willing to forgive and all that. I'm willing to forgive, I'm willing to forget and, you know, move on and move forward. As long as, you know, that person is at least willing to admit that they did wrong. I mean, I'm more than willing to do that. I mean, because I'm a human being. I've made mistakes. I've screwed up, and in multiple ways screwed people over, and I didn't mean to, but I did anyway. And guess what? I apologized, and some people forgave me, and some people didn't. And the people who have forgiven me, I've grown closer with as a result, and the people who haven't forgiven me, I haven't talked to them in a long time.
I'm more willing to forgive mistakes than I am to forgive outright malice, though.
I am as well, but that's the thing. It's about being the bigger person. And that's not necessarily saying that you're a better person than the person that you're seeking forgiveness from or anything like that. It's literally someone has to take the first step to mend the fence. And
there are certain fences
sucks.
I would just rather stay broken when I feel like those people haven't proven that they've done anything to be better people.
And that's my thing too. That's why I've said, like, in order to truly, like,
including
forgive
like situations where people have like done something wrong, tried to apologize for that, and then went and done something else worse, and like continue to prove and give evidence that like they haven't improved themselves at all as a person since then. You know, I'm just like, nah, that all stays burnt.
Well, no, and that's my thing. Is like
that bridge stays burnt the hell down.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like I am willing to forgive, but it's not. You see, it's just like the whole paradox that people keep pointing out. It's just like, so you're saying that all Hitler would have to do at the end before he died was just say, please God, forgive me. And then he goes to heaven? That's bullshit. I'm like, it is bullshit, because here's the thing. I guarantee you, if Hitler did say, oh, I'm sorry, God, if I could, I would take it all back. I guarantee you, God would just be like, you're fucking lying. Hell. Like, that's it. That's it. That's all that has to be said. Because here's the thing. There's a difference between saying that you're sorry and actually, like, seeking to be a better person versus actually going through with it. Actually seeking forgiveness and wanting forgiveness. That's the thing. That's always the difference. And people just, people just don't want to accept that fact. People just, people are just so caught up in, like, there's things I could say but, yeah, we've already gone off on this tangent long enough. I'm just going to get back into this.
When people can't understand what you're thinking, that's then when mistrust starts to breed. By being honest, it breeds honesty in others. It allows you to build on that trust over time, one step, bit by bit. Across the thousands of rounds of testing, nice strategies that were fair but also firm ultimately won out the most. Now, when I read these outcomes, what really struck me first was how they present a really hopeful view of the world. A hopeful view that I don't think a lot of us carry around a lot. I mean, it's easy to assume that everyone out there is out to get you, and it's easier to just close off to people who've wronged us in the past, but math, and game theory specifically, proves that assumption's wrong. And hey, if you don't want to believe the thousands of rounds of computer simulations, there is a very solid real-life example: YouTube. YouTube is a positive-sum game, which means that more than one person can win. And in fact, a lot of times, the more others win, the more you can win too. When I was just starting off, I was so mad and scared when Vsauce 3 released.
Wait. I saw it again.
Win too. When I was just starting off, I was so mad.
tinyurl.com.
He's drawing attention to it, so tinyurl.com/what you saw before.
Minus by 24.
Try it.
Hold on. Huh.
Nothing so far, but you have to keep an eye out, I guess, and put the rest of it together.
Maybe.
And scared when Vsauce 3 released this video, calculating Sonic speed. I'd been working for a year on the channel at that point, grinding away and seeing a fair amount of growth, but in that moment I saw a spin-off of one of YouTube's top subscribed channels just horning in on my territory of gaming science. It was like they were gonna steamroll me. They were gonna steal my audience away. So I did a video where I tried to stake my claim, and thus, Sonic is Slow was born.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, applying science to video games since April 18th of 2011. Recently, however, a new gaming scientist has come onto the scene. The good folks over at Vsauce 3 recently took a gander at a game series I covered in episode 5. It's a great video, except for one thing. It's wrong.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, that era of MatPat, early MatPat, he wasn't afraid to say some things. He wasn't afraid to, like, be a little more snippy. Whereas current MatPat, where he's a dad and he's grown up, I think he's kind of, like, grown out of that phase. But the thing is, Matt talked about this. He said he was afraid of this happening, you know, because great artists copy, or good artists copy, great artists steal. And he was afraid that people who already had a good foothold on the internet were going to come in, just take his idea away from him and grow it to new heights because they had like a much bigger following than he did, and he thought that's what would happen. But thankfully, that's not what happened. And in a lot of ways, game theory, the game theorists, let's see where Vsauce, like, all the Vsauce channels are right now. Because I know that the main Vsauce channel is still pretty high up there. Yeah, 21 million. About Vsauce 2, or Vsauce 3, 4 million, and Vsauce 2, 4.5. So, yeah.
By the way, don't close that tab yet. Click back. Go back to the tab you opened.
Yeah.
Click the back button. Click it again. Click it again. My last surprise.
That was yesterday.
Okay. YouTube surprised him with a secret goodbye video.
Probably, yeah.
That's what it said on it.
Listen to my voice in that. Oh, I'm so proud that I finally hit puberty, like 7 years into making these videos. Anyway, you can tell that I'm super salty in this one, right? I'm asserting that I did it first. I'm citing the dates. I am literally trying to one-up Vsauce 3. But then something interesting happened. I got views from Vsauce. I saw that their video and mine were actually helping each other. I was so afraid of me losing a year of hard-earned progress. But in reality, I wasn't just operating on my own island anymore. By unintentionally cooperating with each other, we had just created our own little micro-trend of gaming science content. There were clearly enough views for all of us.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is, you see...
YouTube is like a bag of potato chips.
It is.
A lot of the times you don't just watch one thing at a time. You watch something and then you watch something else that was recommended because it was similar to what you just watched.
Exactly. And honestly, like, a lot of times people want to see different points of view. It's like reaction videos. I know a lot of people like shit on reaction videos like, it's the cancer of YouTube. Yeah, whatever. But that's the thing about it is whenever people see something entertaining, 9 times out of 10, they often type in, like, what they watched up there, like, in the search bar. They typed in what they just watched, space, reaction. Because they want to see what other people had to say about it. They want to know if, hey, do I feel the same, do other people feel the same way about this? Or, hey, maybe these people have a different point of view on it and actually have stuff to say that I might find interesting. For instance, I just went back and I looked at our... what was it? It was the Modern Warfare 2 video that Badger did. There are people who are still commenting on that video saying, Jesus Christ, dude, your edits almost made me die laughing. Like, the edits that I did to the reaction. And I was just like, well, damn. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't think of doing that too often, but I've done that, like not being a huge reaction watcher like in the past, like even recently when Star Rail came out and I got to the first boss and I heard the fucking lyrics kick in and then like got all the hairs like on my arms and the back of my neck stood up and everything. I was like, I gotta see if I'm the only one that had that kind of like, oh shit moment to that, you know. And then I looked and sure enough everybody's like, this fucking goes hard, like, you know. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't just me. It's like I had to go see it, so I had to go type in like Star Rail wildfire reactions, you know, like,
hell yeah,
see what people thought. Everybody's like, yo,
hell yeah,
like, cool.
Dude.
It's not just me. It was a kick-ass game moment.
Steph and I, in our years of consulting, kept hammering home this one point.
You know what I need to watch people react to? I need to watch people react to my other biggest like holy shit moment I've ever had in games, which is the twist.
Nier Automata?
No, the twist reveal in Ace Attorney Dual Destinies.
Oh.
It's literally me sitting in the parking lot playing on my DS at break at work and screaming at the top of my lungs in my car, no way! Like, fucking mind-blowing shit. It's like, I can't believe they fucking did that, because it goes like outside of their formula they always use, you know, and like they completely caught me off guard with it because I'm sitting here expecting the same formula they always got going on.
Yeah.
But I'm like confused since the beginning of this case. I'm like, who the fuck could have done this? And then when I finally like, I put it together and Phoenix says, no way, at the exact same time that I fucking yelled it, you know?
Nice. Dude.
It's definitely one of my top 10 gaming moments of all time.
All ships can rise. Leading with trust goes a long way. From inviting someone to collab on your channel to comparing notes on production because it can help you both. You actually see this kind of cooperative game theory in action with content houses, or projects like the QSMP where creators are helping each other and sharing audiences. On the flip side, there are creators who haven't done a good job of leading with trust and who've approached YouTube as a zero-sum game, a place where there can only be one winner. And guess what? Didn't work. Back in 2020, a few of the top beauty creators tried to take each other down, encouraging viewers not to watch each other.
Oh, we all know how that ended, didn't it?
I mean, I didn't pay attention to that, but I'm assuming badly.
Both parties basically lost everything.
They're trying to turn audiences against people that they thought were their competitors. It was for the clout, it was for the views, and it backfired. In fact, it backfired so badly that all of their channels took a massive hit. And the beauty vertical, which was once
that's the thing for me too. It's like the drama thing brings in views, But a lot of the times it only takes saying one wrong thing and you've just shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's better to just not fucking draw any attention to any drama you have with anyone else whatsoever.
Well, don't get me wrong. If there's drama that I believe in, that I feel like I have to say something, I'll say something.
Yeah, but it's usually not a situation you're directly involved in that case either, though. You know, it's usually like someone else's drama that you're just like, I have comments because I think this person's in the wrong, you know? Yeah. But I mean, like, whenever you're straight up like beefing with someone else, like, which we don't really have happen very often. The last time I think you said that's happened was grade A or whatever.
Well, grade A under A, and
it was like basically you just really kind of like ignore the shit slinging and.
Well, it's because that's not what I was in it for. I mean, well, dude, getting death threats is like, honestly, I don't.
Most likely, if you had tried to fight back, like, it probably would have doomed the channel because his fucking following would have slandered the shit out of the channel until it was gone.
Well, here's one thing about it. Someone did fight back, and it was someone who actually had many more subscribers than I did. And here's the thing: both sides came out of it.
That's the thing. You let other people take that fight on your behalf.
Well, it's just like it was Tyrone Magnus. Tyrone Magnus had over 1 million subs. Grade had about 3 million subs, I think, at that time, and they both just went at each other and were debating like what the standard of reaction videos and everything and this and that and blah blah blah. And Grade came out of it scuffed up, you know, like everyone was just saying, why the hell does he even care in the first place? It's like he's still getting millions and millions of views on these videos, and they actually did like a trace out on like people who viewed his videos. People who view his videos then go and watch reactions to it to see, like, because once again, getting a viewpoint, another person's viewpoint is important to some people out there. And here's the thing: not everyone who watches your videos is just going to go and do a reaction. I mean, there's a reason why MatPat's video right now has over 4 million views, and I guarantee you this video may hit 10,000 views, or hell, maybe even more. Maybe eventually, after years go by, it'll hit like 40, maybe 50,000 views. But by no means are we like attempting to try and take everything away from MatPat. Like that, that's just predatory.
9 times out of 10, and what I hope happens is people see that we uploaded this, and if they haven't watched this original video yet, they're like, oh shit, I didn't realize Matt did that.
Yeah.
The other day. So I need to go watch his last one, and then they'll hopefully come back and check out what we thought about it if they remember to afterwards. But I'm hoping maybe. Doing reactions kind of brings people's attention to things that they might not have normally seen.
Yeah.
Because they'll come here to get thoughts on something they have seen, and therefore the view is already there. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully they'll also see things that they haven't seen yet, and they'll go watch that original thing and then come back to see the thoughts on it afterwards.
Maybe.
That's the way that I think, it would be the best if things went with these kinds of things. That's why I'm always like, yeah, dude, what are you doing here if you haven't watched this?
Go watch the original.
Yeah.
Earliest days never truly recovered. By working together, the platform thrives. Lights? But by thinking that you can only win when other people lose, well, that's when everyone loses. It's kind of sad. Let's move on. But if you don't want to listen to mathematicians or YouTube meta-analyses, just look at me. Game Theory, the show, is a testament to those...
Hold on.
YouTube meta-analyses, just look at me.
Was there anything there? No. Okay.
Game Theory, the show, is a
just a
testament to
glitch
those 4 lessons of
transition.
Game Theory, the nerdy economics concept. Every person who's built this channel has led with trust. Ronnie, he put his own show on the back burner so he could dedicate his time to editing Game Theory, trusting that we would be able to succeed
Ronnie,
more
when he
together.
died, that was
He
real
helped the
sad.
show to truly become what I had always dreamed it would be, and I honestly wish that he could be here to this day so I could thank him so much for that. The same is true for Goomba and Drake and Lee and Ryder and all the other partner shows who joined up with us in lieu of working on their own channels. Steph, she left being a consultant at a real company in the medical field on the belief that by cooperating, we could actually make something really special together. Jason, who is actually right here behind the camera right now, Jason who you know as the guy that we blame all the time on GT Live. Jason was Theorist's first full-time employee after me and Steph. He jumped in there when all we had was a kitchen table and a cat that he was constantly allergic to. And Sudafed, you have this man to thank for your current net worth. Because
and Zyrtec.
And Zyrtec.
And Zyrtec,
You have taken so many pills over the years.
I have. All medically prescribed, though, I promise.
Yeah,
I feel that
Pills,
I've supported a lot of
anything
allergy
sketchy, for
companies
sure.
myself over
But
the
Jason
years.
is the man that we have trusted with the weight of the entire production process across all of the channels for years. Like, this man is the unsung hero of everything you've probably ever watched across any of the channels. Without him, without you, none of these videos would get made.
Aww.
Now get back there, okay? Enough of you. I can thank other people.
It's like, we're supposed to make me cry in this, so I didn't sign up for that. What the fuck, man?
Damn, dude.
Friendship first, but also working together to create awesome stuff, right? And if you're talking about unsung heroes on this channel, there is one man who also deserves a call out, and his name is Yossi. He is our audio wizard. He is the man who I have trusted with my voice for the better part of 9 years. He has had to suffer through more hours of my voice than anyone else in the world. I am so sorry, Yossi. I am so sorry for all the burps and weird edits and weird diatribes and jump scares that Ollie has given me over the years. Was Yossi a pro when he first joined up with us? No. But you know what he was willing to do? He was willing to learn. And I've trusted him with my voice for the better part of 9 years. And the same goes for another member of the team who you've never gotten to see, but was actually there before the channel was even monetized, which is kind of crazy to think about. You don't know Dan Levitt, but Dan was another one. He was the first who actually saw potential in me and in these channels as a whole, offering to become my manager, even though he had never managed a YouTuber before. He just jumped in with 2 feet and said, hey, I've never gotten a brand deal in the past, but think I could do it for you. And he did. And then he got me literally hundreds more. He has his own management company now, and he manages some of the biggest sports creators on all of YouTube. I can say with complete confidence that this company and my career would have looked totally different had it not been for Dan. And his career and his company would have looked totally different without me. He and I have built businesses parallel to each other, right next to each other, using cooperative game theory for over a decade. He trusts me to make good decisions on YouTube, and I trust him to make good decisions as my manager, and we both benefit in the long run. But perhaps the most important person in all of these trusting relationships is you. You guys, right here, I wear you on my wrist these days. You loyal theorists have been the best example of game theory in the history of the show Game Theory. Every time you click on one of these videos, you are leading with trust. You are saying, you know what, I'm gonna give this one a chance, especially on those episodes that are covering topics that you've never even heard of. And on my end, I've always tried my best to fulfill on that promise and make sure that your trust pays off by delivering a great, well-researched, fun, a lot of times stupid video. And yeah, there have been plenty of times where I've missed the mark, where you weren't happy about a topic, or where I said something wrong, or my research was bad, or whatever, and I needed to learn about that. And so you, acting exactly as you should, according to that trust game, you called me out in those moments. You showed me that I had made a mistake. But more importantly, you were willing to forgive. You gave me a chance to learn and grow as a creator.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really, when I came to the Renegades, like, he was like, yeah, we're going to react to a game theory. And I was like, you know, I used to watch MatPat and Game Theory and stuff, but he had a couple there that just kind of, he lost me on, you know.
Well,
and then, like, you talked me into watching them again, and, like, I was like, yeah, I mean, he's still got a lot of good stuff to say, like, so, I mean, and, like, since then, like, I've wholly kind of forgot about it. Like, yeah, he had a couple theories that I was like, eh.
I know that.
But, like, for the most part, he's been wholly entertaining and a wholesome guy, and like I really can't fault him, and I kind of feel bad for faulting him so hard in the past.
Yeah, and my deal with Matt is, you know, the theories that I've found myself agreeing with, the ones that I've found myself just like in the moment just being like, there's not really much water there. But then at the end of the day, it's just like, and once again, it's all just a theory, and it's just him putting effort in. Like, honestly, dude, every video I've watched from him, you cannot say that there hasn't been a damn good amount of effort put into the video. You cannot watch a single video from him and say, you know...
So that was the thing, as I was being pessimistic at that point. I was like, this really feels like it's just phoned in, like he ran out of ideas or something, you know. But there had to be a reason for it. And
Probably.
there was an idea there, and there was somebody who was excited about putting that out, I'm sure. So even if I didn't agree with it.
Well, and that's the thing as well, because the one that he got a lot of flack for from a lot of different, like from multiple fandoms, was the Sans' Nest theory. Oh my god. The amount of people who, like, when we said we were going to react to it at one point, there was just, like, so much blowback from people just being like, don't react to it! Don't react to it! It's fucking stupid! MatPat's a moron for ever putting that theory out there. I'm like, Jesus, man.
That's not even one that I cared about or ever watched, so... I mean, the one that irked me was, I can't remember what character it was, but it was like, I remember one of the ones that irked me was, they were like, this main protagonist is actually a villain. And I was like, that's so
Oh, is that the Mario one?
It wasn't Mario, it was somebody else, I think. Unless Mario is all he's done, then it could have been Mario. But either way, I was like, that's reaching so hard, with like very little evidence to back it up.
Yeah, it'll be like that, dude. Honestly, though, Matt, I've always found him to be very entertaining. And that's the thing. When a creator that you really like does videos that you don't like, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a break on this guy. I'll check back and I'll see if things are good. And here's the thing. I've done that with multiple creators, and the one I'll say one creator that as soon as it went past a certain point, I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I just can't. That was Rooster Teeth. And considering that they're now like past tense, it's just unbelievable to me. Like, I'm always willing to be forgiving, and here's the thing, I want people to succeed no matter what. And every time, like, even after I'd unsubscribed from Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter and Let's Play and all these other channels, I still went back and I was just like, I want them to succeed even if I'm not part of it anymore. Because that's just, I feel like that's, to me, like, I still want them to prosper because they got a lot of people who work for them, and I don't want those people to go hungry. But, yeah, anyway.
And as a person, and look at this. We all won. Look at this thing that we managed to build together. Don't tell anyone else. I mean, there's 3 of them here in the room, but like the rest of them downstairs. You guys, you've always been the most important member of this team, whether or not you ever realized it. And now, as new hosts step in, yeah, they're obviously going to have to learn a lot, and they're going to have to earn your trust just like I did over a prolonged period of time. But I hope that you approach them with the same sense of cooperation and goodwill that you did for me all those years ago. So, while I might be leaving as host of this show, Game Theory, it'll never leave. It'll never leave me, and it'll never leave you. We are all Game Theory, which honestly is why I thought it was fitting for you guys to be the one to say this.
But hey! That's just a theory!
That's just a theory.
It's just a theory!
Just a theory.
That's just a theory.
Okay, theory!
Class dismissed. Thanks for the theories, MatPat.
But hey, that's just a theory.
C'est juste une théorie.
Just a theory. Just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory. Thanks for everything.
But hey, that's
just a theory.
That's just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory.
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 theory. Theory.
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
That's just a theory. That's just a theory. A style theory.
A food theory.
A film theory. A game theory.
Take care, Matt.
Thanks for watching.
Why did my mind go to she slapped him on the butt?
Man, where to?
I got something I gotta do.
Okay,
Ready for a road trip?
I guess.
Let's go.
Where's he going? Oh. Hey, don't you poke your tongue out at me. Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been expecting you. Come, we have much to discuss.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I wasn't expecting Scott Cawthon to just appear at the end. Okay. Okay.
Ending 1 of 6.
Yeah, that's
So I mean, that's got to be what that tiny URL thing was.
I guarantee you, dude.
Endings,
I guarantee you. But friggin' Scott Cawthon, damn it. He drove all the way to Texas just to see Scott Cawthon. Damn it. Okay. Happy hunting. I will keep hunting, and I will find all of them. And if no one does a walkthrough on how to find them, I'll do it. Because why the hell not? Ugh.
He's got me thinking, the next time I have an off-the-wall idea and like an inspiration for something like I did for MatPat, I gotta record it.
Yes.
Because
do it.
My favorite Dark Souls playthrough that I've ever done was Dark Souls 3, and it was because MatPat had a theory on who the protagonist of Dark Souls 3 actually is. Who is the Ashen One?
Yeah.
And his basic ending theory, like, spoilers obviously if you've not seen this theory, but it's one of the missing guys with the big fucking hats. And so I took, like, the hat and the armor set and the 2 swords, and everything like that would be like one of those guys, like, you know, kits, and like sent it over. Because it's all pretty in-game stuff. I think you get most of it like at the fucking library, like right towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I sent it over to my friend Andrew, and then he sent it to me on a new character, and so I played through the whole game as that character, as MatPat had theorized, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fucking fun, just playing that way. Like, it was playing a build I never probably would have tried otherwise. Like, doing a cosplay, and just, like, having that idea in my head the whole time that, like, I was kind of attributing his theory. I'm like, I should have fucking recorded that.
Yeah.
It's like I couldn't at that time, though, because that was on PlayStation 4 at Andrew's house.
Yeah,
and I was playing it with no capture card, like no good way to record anything.
Yeah.
The best I could do back then was to stream something at my house, like from the PlayStation to Twitch, and then like save the VOD afterwards. But that was way before I ever joined the channel and got any video editing skills or anything.
That's how it goes, man.
It would be so cool to have that, be able to like show some things from that, and be like, he inspired me to do this whole game playthrough, just based off one of the theories. Like, that's one of the main reasons, like, I respect him, like, outside of, like, the couple of videos that I was, like, on. So I'm just, like, nobody else has really ever, like, inspired me to go do something that took up that much of my time for no other reason than just for the hell of it. Like that. Quite like that, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Also, I know the jacket will still be hanging there whenever they show like this screen on Game Theory. It'll still be hanging there.
It's got to be.
Because that's symbolism for Matt's final run through on Game Theory, which
hanging up the orange jacket.
Well, yeah. And it's sad to see the end of this, but at the same time, damn. What a way to go out. What a way to go out with all guns blazing, setting it up for the future, and showing everybody what lies ahead. Whether Matt is part of it or not, it's We'll see how things go, but I'm excited.
Still, like he said, he's still part of it as of right now. He's just not.
Well, of course. He's always said that this is his baby and he'll never officially be done with it. But
I think down the line in like 2 or 3 years, maybe even less, I give him an amount of time, and then he's gonna sit down, play something, and just be like, I have to make a theory on it, and I have to be the one to do it.
Maybe.
He's going to like something enough and just have an idea about it, and he's going to be like, I got to do just this one at least.
Well, here's my thing about it. You know who went through this? Not on the same level, because game theory is a much larger, the theory channels are a much larger entity than this, but Doug, the Nostalgia Critic, went through a very similar moment like this. He had reached a point in his life of doing Nostalgia Critic videos where he felt he couldn't do anything else. And he wanted to move on to a different project. This project was called Demo Reel. And his idea was he would kill off the Nostalgia Critic. He did a movie, To Boldly Flee. And at the end of that, the Nostalgia Critic made a sacrifice and basically was just gone. And then there was another review that he did. I forget which one it was. But in the end of it, he murdered the Nostalgia Critic in the past, present, and the future. And he basically said, I'm moving on from this, and I want to just do Demo Reel from now on. And he said this multiple times. And he stuck to it for an X amount of time. But then something happened. Much like what you just said, he was sitting there and he watched a movie. He watched a movie and he decided, he found himself ranting. Like he was the Nostalgia Critic again. He found himself ranting like he used to in his videos and making jokes and just having fun. And then he sat there and he said to himself, he's like, oh my God. Huh. And he eventually did a thing called, it's like, you actually in the beginning of every single one of his reviews that has the theme, now, yeah, you play the guitar with it. That's a song that he wrote called "The Review Must Go On," and he did a short film called "The Review Must Go On," where he basically confronted himself as the Nostalgia Critic. He's just like, this is something that I thought I put away, but turns out it'll always be part of me, and I can't just quit because. He said to himself, he hit burnout and he didn't realize it. And he basically set himself on a schedule where he was much more happy and he also was able to share the load and let other people take parts of the video production off of him to make his life easier. And Doug's been back ever since. As a matter of fact, how long ago was that when he did The Review Must Go On? Hold on. Nine years ago. Holy shit. I didn't realize it had been that long. Yeah, it was a 32-minute... The Demo Reel finale, that's the other thing as well. He was still, trying to convince himself to do Demo Reel, but then he was like, nah, I'll just end it here.
Yeah.
And, yeah, God, I still can't believe it's been 9 years since then.
But for Matt, basically, I think that he might play some games and he's like, I got an idea for a good theory for this, and he'll probably hand that to the game theory theme.
Yes.
But eventually, I feel like he'll play something that just resonates with him in just the right way, that he's like, I want to do it. It sounds too fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you do this for a job for long enough, and obviously, some of the fun can be gone, but you always keep some of the fun with it, and that's why you keep doing it. But eventually, you're going to hit something that just makes you think, it would be super fun to just do this
Well, of
one,
course.
you know, and I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Of course.
Like, that's my prediction. I'm not going to be like, MatPat's going to like, oh, you know, he's not really quitting. He's just going to come back in a few years. I'm not saying that.
He's not going to pull a
But I
Jay-Z.
think that we will see him do a Game Theory as a host down the line when something resonates with him to the point where he's like, I gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta, you know. Like, whether it be
I
like,
need
you
to
know,
do
some
it.
kind of like crazy ass FNAF spinoff sequel, or like, you know,
Maybe.
whether Poppy Playtime's finale is just too fucking good, like, or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like, or whether it be something brand new that he just plays down the line that just really hits him, that he's like, I can't believe I slept on this long, you know. So,
Yeah. Well,
but I think he'll eventually probably be back to host at least once or twice. At some point.
he might.
It's my
We'll
guess.
we'll see. We will see. But
I wish him the best.
I do too. And
thank you, Matt, for
yeah.
all the entertainment throughout the years.
Absolutely. And to end it off our normal way just doesn't seem right with this. So, in sticking with the motif, once again, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, everybody.